Grand rises, y'all. It's been a minute. Sometimes you gotta take time to yourself and tap in with yourself. It's very important. And make sure that you're doing that. Tapping in with yourself and taking care of business, handling business, all of the obvious. There is a spiritual war going on, as we know. It's not something that I want to speak on. It's not something that I want to speak on, commonly, as if, that's all that's going on around us. But, it is a fact that, the enemy is busy, real busy. It's crazy and it's wild. It's wild out here. I hope that y'all are staying. I hope that, y'all are staying prayed up and using your spiritual tools to keep yourself protected, to stay protected and to shield yourself, because it seems as though the enemy don't discriminate, right? As of today, I don't know when I'm going to post this video online, but as of today is March 16th, 2025. It is Sunday. Yesterday, there was a shooting that took place at the Circus Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada. And as I said, the enemy is busy. This dark energy is touching all places, everywhere. And the miserable, the have-nots, the ones that carry that dark energy. Misery loves company. The enemy has a certain type of frequency and energy, and they replicate themselves and reproduce themselves, unfortunately, in their children. That's a fact. It's crazy. It's such a beautiful world, like there's so many blessings, like the babies of the world. I have a soft spot, and the vulnerable community have a real I have a soft spot for the vulnerable community, and it could be just because of my character, but then also because of my background. I was trained to protect the vulnerable community. So some people may look at them like women and children, but more specifically children and the elderly have they have a soft spot in my heart. And when this shooting took place, all of the kids, Monday is they're on spring break here, and I believe across the country, if I'm not mistaken, but it depends on which county people live in. But they're on spring break from Monday, starting tomorrow, to Friday. So yesterday the kids went out, and I mean it was a large number of the community. The kids went out to Circus and went to the Adventure Dome to go play. Everybody was talking about it. How kids are, they talking about, oh well, everybody going to the Adventure Dome, so they meeting up there to go have a good time. And obviously somebody that has mental health issues or maybe substance issues, went and stole their peace, their joy, and their excitement. I don't really know all the details. I know that there's reports and things like that, but reports change, and then the media is inconsistent sometimes. So I'm not really going to get into that. But my whole point of bringing it up is just pretty much talking about how the enemy is busy. I personally had some family that was there, some people that are near and dear to my heart, and people that I absolutely love. And God flexed its muscles and was a fence and protected them and all that chaos and crisis. And as always, it's sad that we have to, it's sad that we have to recognize them for, their heroic acts when crisis happen and bad things happen. But I always want to shout out the first responders, because those are some of my associates in my background. For over a decade, I've been working hand in hand with first responders. So I always want to shout out first responders. They deserve the acknowledgement. They deserve the accolades, and they deserve the respect for sure. When you're running into danger, as a person that is experienced in that and trained in that, it's not a game when it go down. And it's not an easy job. They don't have an easy job, especially dealing with the individuals in the community that is mentally disturbed or have substance abuse issues. I talk about the spiritual war that is going on, because it seems as though the enemy don't take no time off. It's like it's working overtime. And then there's people that they operate in that energy, whether it be the people that practice the left hand path, or those that send in the negative energy, or the people that be low-key hating, the ones that want to spread confusion, manipulation, discord, deceit, the lies, the thievery, all of these dark things. And then not to mention the heinous stuff that people are engaging in this world. It's ridiculous. And then some of those same folks will have the audacity to try to gaslight and manipulate the righteous. Not the perfect, the righteous. Absolutely oxymoronic, hypocritical, and they're absolute lie, and the truth ain't in them. And in my mama voice, they're lying 6 stacks of shit, and they feet ain't made to them. On some southern quotes. But devil, I see you, and we see you. Those that are truly tapped in, not the ones that be faking and putting on a facade and all that. When and it's not a facade. It's not a game. It's unfortunate, the events that took place yesterday. But being that, the fact is that it was a youngster that committed this crime, that did this this atrocious act in a family-friendly environment, and at an amusement park, to be specific, it's insane, and it's unfathomable. So I made a video probably about 4 years ago. And I was advising parents, like, grown folks don't, let's be honest, right? Grown folks don't want nobody telling them what to do, right? Everybody need a little bit of help here and there. So people take certain advice and things like that. But if we're being honest, the average human being, they don't want nobody telling them what to do, right? But, I have to say this. Just like I said then, I'm going to say it now. Hopefully you are tapped in and making it a priority to know what your children are doing at all times. Just because they are in high school, whether they in 9th to freaking 12th grade, doesn't mean that they should have a certain amount of overwhelming liberties and freedom. I said, find out what your kids is doing, and stay tapped in with them, even if you have to like tap the phone, the location and all those things, and really get up in their privacy, because kids should only have a certain level of privacies, right? But when it comes to parenting and things, you know, a lot of people, you know, hopefully I'm not offending nobody, but if anybody know Bree, they know that I'm a straight shooter. I'm real straightforward with it, right? I don't really pull no punches. And sometimes, you know, that it challenges some relationships, and sometimes it challenges certain things in people. Sometimes some people are offended by it, but at least one thing you can say about me is I keep it real. And if anybody want to challenge me on anything, my character or anything or whatever, you know, I really don't care what people have to say, but I am open to, you know, sometimes what people might want to share. But, you know, for, oh, how cute. Oh, how cute. So adorable. Hi, baby. Yeah, I love kids. I love babies. And it's unfortunate what took place at the Adventure Dome in a space full of children. It's just crazy. But, you know, like me and my big brother were talking about, you know, some of these kids may be dealing with, you know, substance abuse issues, or obviously mental health issues. If you get that mad and you pulling out on somebody and open fire in a place like that, where kids and families are playing. But yeah, I think that it's important that people really get up in their kids' business, right? But what I was gonna say before I drew a blank and lost my train of thought is that people, the problem that I'm seeing and the things that's going on around me is that people want to be a friend to their children first, and then they want to be a parent second. You know, in my household, and the way that I raise my daughter is I'm a mother first, I'm a parent first, and then we work on our friendship second. Then we could be friends second. But, you know, our kids need guidance and they need leadership. Real guidance and real leadership. And I'm not saying that it's easy or that parenting is easy. Parenting is not easy. But if an individual is not making an effort, then, you know, that's questionable. If they have mental health issues or substance abuse issues, which a lot of people do, that's a whole nother topic. But then there's resources. So they got to want the help. They got to want the change, you know. And I don't want to sound like an asshole because I say, you know, they replicate themselves or they reproduce themselves. But the fact of the matter is, you know, a lot of these kids are walking around parentless. They don't have leadership. They don't have guidance, and they don't have the support. So they, you know, dip and dabble in substances and go and get connected to the wrong groups of people and just get into all kinds of shit. And, you know, some people say, oh, focus on your household and da-da-da-da-da. I focus on my household, and I raise my daughter. I raise my kid. And, you know, if I can, if my family or anybody, you know, should ever need me, then I definitely take pride in playing a role with helping with my nieces and nephews and other children as well, because, you know, people don't like to acknowledge the fact that, you know, it does take a village. And when my child leaves the household, she goes and she interacts with other children, and they show each other all kind of things, and they introduce all kind of things to each other. And then what may be happening in another child's home, they end up projecting and expressing that within the community, within the institutions, the schools and the things. You know, it tend to bleed over into their daily life, their social life, and those that they interact with. And it's unfortunate because, like I said, I'm not perfect, and I'm not trying to win the Best Parent of the Year award, but I think that I like to think of myself as a decent human being. know that, you know, I'm not perfect, but I know that I am a decent person. I know I'm a pretty good person, and when I say that I'm a queen, I stand on that, and I live by certain morals and values and principles. So I expect certain things. I have certain expectations for my progeny. I have certain expectations for my child, and I tell her all the time, you represent me, you represent yourself, you represent me, you represent this family, and you're an extension of God, so you represent God too, you know. But it is very